Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another vlog, another Sunday vlog. And in today's video, I am going to be doing something a little bit different. I have been nominated to do this person behind the games thing. I've been nominated by my friend Claire Siobhan, who also has a YouTube channel, which you should definitely check out. She does really awesome, like, funny videos for different kind of games, like she's been playing Skyrim recently. So you guys should definitely check her out. So I'll leave a link to her channel in the description box down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, but also you can see a link to the video where she nominated me. But basically, what this thing is it's like, the idea behind this thing is I'm supposed to tell you guys 10 facts about myself that you wouldn't know unless I told you. So it can't be like obvious things like I'm a YouTuber, I used to work at Microsoft, I'm 6'3", things like that, because obviously you guys kind of already know that, and like you can kind of just find out most of that stuff just online. It's supposed to be slightly more interesting things, or like random things, or at least the way that people have been doing it, and the way that Claire did her one is there's sort of like weird facts as well. So maybe it paints you in a kind of like slightly odd light. But hey, with that being said, I compiled a list of 10 things, and they're kind of in a rough order, but they start off generally kind of basic, and then they kind of get slightly weird and odd and stuff. So yeah, you might get a laugh at this, but anyway, let's get started. Fact number 1, I have a temporary fear of heights, and what I mean by that is I kind of, if I'm going up anywhere at all, so for example, like the Eiffel Tower when I went to Paris, actually the Eiffel Tower is probably the best example. They have like an elevator, unless they've changed it, but back when I went, which was quite a few years ago, they have like an elevator where it is, it's got like glass all the way around, so you can basically see everywhere. So when you're going up, I'm just like this, I don't like this, and then like obviously the more you go up, the more I'm just like, this is really not cool. But obviously it's kind of going in one direction, you can't really go anywhere. So for the kind of duration of that lift, I'm just like, no, 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 no. And then obviously you get to the top, and then you're like, right, this is a bit crazy. So you kind of like cling to the sort of side of the, like, the whatever it is, the railings or the side of the Eiffel Tower. Well, not the side of the Eiffel Tower, because then I'm clearly in the wrong place. But you cling to the side of it, and then after like a couple of minutes, you get sort of acclimatized, and then my kind of fear of heights goes away. So I'm not like one of those people who legitimately has a fear of heights, because I can kind of like deal with it, but you sort of need to kind of, I need like a couple of minutes to get acclimatized. So recently when I was in Seattle, when I went to visit Bungie, we went to the top of the Space Needle, and it was a really windy day. So when we went outside, I'm pretty sure the needle was swaying slightly. So I was like, this is weird, this is really, really crazy. And then kind of like after a sort of couple of minutes, I kind of got used to it, and then yeah, it was good. So yes, number 1, I have a temporary fear of heights. I don't know if there's like a technical term for that, but yes. Anyway, fact number 2. Okay, this one might be slightly boring, but hey, I'm gonna do it anyway. I collect trainers, I collect like high top trainers. You can probably see some in the background behind me. I think I have 21 pairs so far. Some of them are in the cupboard there, which I'll throw up a picture of right now. Some of them are down there. Only high tops, they're the only trainers that I wear. But yeah, kind of collect them, so yes. Number 3. I have a very, very strong dislike for stickers, specifically paper stickers. Like, what I really don't like about them is that if you stick them on things and they've been stuck for a while, so be that price tags, be that like the kind of sticker that seals a box, when you peel it off, like if the sticker doesn't come off in a whole sort of as the whole sticker, if it kind of tears apart, then you're left with this weird papery kind of thing below, and that's really annoying. It really annoys me, it kind of creeps me out in a weird way. Back before, here's an interesting story, back before I worked at Microsoft, when I left university, I did like a weekend job in a DIY store. And part of like when you had to reshelve things and reprice things, you had to kind of take all the old stickers off, where they had this special liquid. But then when you use the liquid, it kind of breaks apart into loads of small pieces, which, as you can imagine, was quite traumatic. So I had a friend that I used to work with, and we kind of had a deal where she would take the stickers off and I would put the new ones on, so that way I could kind of avoid having to actually touch the weird stickers that fall apart. Number 4, here we are, here's a good one, this is a good story. So, when I was a kid, in the kind of like junior school, when Pokemon cards were basically a really, really big thing, I used to take all the rubbish Pokemon cards that nobody liked, things like Rattata, Metapod, Polygon, all those ones that just like nobody liked, and I would cut them up and I would assemble them as new Pokemon. So like you would take, say, the head of Polygon, put it on like the body of Rattata, and like put Metapod as like his tail, and then you assemble it to look kind of cool. You would then cut all the life points out, so then you would take Rattata, which has something ridiculously low, like 20 or 30 life points. Don't quote me on that because I know it's probably wrong, but just hear me out for a second. So it's got like 20 or 30 life points. I then take all the zeros from the cut up cards as well and assemble them. So suddenly it's got like 20,000 life points. You then change the attack values as well. So it might be like Metapod, some like crazy Rattata beam, which will then do like 50,000 damage. And I would laminate it. And I would then trade these in the playground as like exclusive sort of legendary Pokemon cards. And of course, yes, by current modern standards, if I tried to like shift that online now, someone would be like, well, that's clearly fake. But when you're a kid in a playground and and you play Pokemon cards and you want to win, and someone brings up to you a Pokemon you've never seen before with like 50,000 life points and a ridiculous damage attack, which will mean you win every single battle, people were ready to start trading cards. So yeah, I had a kind of like shady business when I was at school where I would custom make Pokemon cards, and then yeah. Then, fact number 5. I don't know if this will make sense to the Americans. So in the UK, the education system works like you kind of go through GCSEs, you then do a thing called A-levels, which is the thing you do before you go to university. So it's kind of, I don't know what your equivalent is, but in the UK, you're supposed to do, you do X number of GCSEs, and then you select 4 A-levels that you do for the first year, and you then typically drop one, and then you do 3 A-levels to kind of complete the last year. And then when I was in sixth form, I opted to do 4 A-levels simply because I didn't like having free time. Sounds really weird. When I was at school, I kind of didn't really have anything to do while I was kind of like in between lessons, so I was like, well, if I only do 3 lessons a week, then I'm gonna have loads of free time and I won't know what to do. So I was like, yeah, I'll do 4 so I can just like have no free time, and then my day was done quicker. So it's kind of weird, but I ended up with 4 A-levels, so hey, that was useful. Fact number 6, I learned Japanese for 3 years. You guys might already know that one, but I don't think I've mentioned it before. But yes, I learned for 3 years back when I was sort of like at school, with the intention of eventually becoming fluent. I have always wanted to become fluent in a language, and Japanese seemed like the kind of appropriate one, given that I did a lot of stuff with games industry, and thought that would be like a useful language to have. I stopped it because I simply just didn't have enough time. I do want to try and pick it up again, but yes, I do now have language kind of skills too. I would say my Japanese is more sort of functional than anything. Like I could go to Japan and ask someone where the train station is and understand the answer, but I couldn't then go up to like a random person and have a conversation about train stations or about trains. So yeah, functional, not conversational. Fact number 7, this is an OCD thing. I've actually got quite a few OCD things here, and I'm saving these to the end because it's then probably going to make you think this guy is pretty weird. But firstly, all my games are ordered alphabetically. So this not only makes it easier to find games, but it also kind of like, to me, seems like the best possible way to organise my games. But that does also come with its kind of difficulties, because as you can imagine, having to order things alphabetically is fine. But then obviously when you encounter like a series of games, you obviously also want them to go in the order that they kind of came out. Only when you get some games that say, let's take for example Splinter Cell Conviction and Splinter Cell Blacklist. So Blacklist came out after Conviction, but B comes before C. So therefore by my alphabetical kind of ordering system, Splinter Cell Blacklist should come before Conviction. But then the second part of my OCD kicks in. I'm like, well, it's not before, it's kind of after it in the series of, or at least kind of after it when it was released. So then I'm like, well, what do? Do I go with the alphabetic system, or do I suddenly then break my convention and shift it around? And you see, this is a genuinely big problem. So as you can see, there's quite a few problems with the system. But hey, so number 8, here's a weird one for you. Question whether I should probably say this, but hey, you're probably gonna think I'm a nut job off this. Anyway, I kind of like to think that certain inanimate objects have feelings. So, right, hear me out here. So when I have like things in the fridge, you have like the food goes in one section, then like drinks go in another section, and then when, for example, you have the drinks tray, you have like the milk bottle, you have like the fruit juice, you have all this stuff like that, and I push them all up so they're like next to and touching each other, because then I feel like if everything is like, for example, if one was on the right and everything else was on the left, then the one on the right is kind of lonely, so I kind of push it up so it then has friends. Yeah. Moving swiftly on, here's another OCD one for you. Volumes. Volumes on things like PCs, stereos, phones. They always have to be, for me, in 5s and 0s. And what I mean by that is, for example, on a PC, volume can be 100%, it can be 85%, it can be 80%, 75, 70, 50. You get the idea. As long as it's a 0 and a 5, that's fine. If it's something like 83, then we've got a problem. That's a big problem, because if you look at anything in my house, like if you look at the TVs and you press the volume button, you'll see they're in on exactly that perfect digits. And the same goes in my car as well, like things have to go on like 25, 30, 35, 40. So that's fine in my own environment when I can kind of control my own environment. But when you go to say a friend's house and they're like, oh, let's watch a film, and then it's like slightly quiet, so then they go to turn the volume up and they just press the button randomly like 3 times and it sits on say 27, then you're sitting there like, right, so I know the volume thing goes away, and after a while, in theory, you can't see it, therefore it's not there, but underlying, I know it's there. So it's like, well, this is annoying. How do I best deal with this? Some of my friends know me and they're like, well, alright, we'll cater for that. Some of my friends know me and they'll specifically do it to annoy me. Other people, they're just like, you're just weird. And then lastly, at number 10, here's another weird one. I don't buy Blu-ray films because I don't like the height of the box, because it doesn't line up correctly with my DVD collection. I will show you a picture of my DVD collection, and then if you put a Blu-ray in there, the height messes with it completely, which really annoys me. And yes, I know what you're going to say. You're then going to say, but hold on, what about PlayStation boxes, Xbox boxes compared to Wii U boxes? Yes, this is a problem, but I have no choice but to, well, unless of course I buy digital, I don't have a choice in this matter. Whereas when it comes to films, I can say, alright, I'm only going to buy DVDs, which are also cheaper, which is always handy. But I can opt to only buy DVDs and watch the lesser quality film, and then still keep my shelf in perfect order. Whereas games, I'm like, I have no option. I can't say to Microsoft, hey, can you make your Xbox One games in the DVD box? And let's be honest, I do actually prefer the height of the Blu-ray boxes, but that one I have to live with, that one I have to deal with. DVDs, on the other hand, I can control, and therefore I have not bought, I've been bought, I've had them bought for me, but I will not buy Blu-ray films for that sole reason. Yes. So, there you go. There are 10 facts that you would never have known about me unless I had told you. Very last thing I have to do, I suppose, kind of the way this thing is supposed to work so you can kind of keep it going, is I'm supposed to nominate people. Now, I don't really like nominating people, but it's the way it's supposed to be done, so yes. I'm going to nominate 3 people. I know you're supposed to do 5, but hey, I'm making the rules here, so I'm going to do 3. I'm going to nominate Little Big Oki, who you should know does awesome Destiny videos. If you don't know, then I'll also link his channel in the description box down below. Make sure you go check him out. But yes, I'm going to nominate him. He is quite busy, so he might not have a chance. And if he doesn't, then so be it. You know, I'm not going to go sit there banging on people's doors saying, you got to do this. But if he wants to do it, then cool. Second to that, More Console, who also does awesome Destiny videos. You should know that as well. And also I'm going to nominate Green Skull, who is a legendary Halo YouTuber. You guys should already know who he is, but if you don't, then all these guys will be linked in the description box down below. To any of you guys watching, obviously there's absolutely no obligation. If you want to do this, cool, because I figured they were like really cool people, it'd be cool to kind of find out more about them. But if you don't want to do it, then, you know, it is what it is. So, yes, that is it. That's me. Those are the 10 random facts. Comment down below, let me know kind of what you thought of the video and what you thought of some of the kind of weird facts, and let me know now if your kind of opinion has now changed. Like the video if you did enjoy it, and aside from that, I'll catch you guys next time.